We're starting a brand new series today, church, called True Courage. And we're leaning into this topic of courage because we feel over the last season that we've all lived through, the last months and years that we've gone through, and the culture that we're currently living in, courage is becoming harder and harder to find. Courage is becoming harder and harder to cultivate. Courage is becoming harder and harder to live with in the opposition, the battles that we all keep finding ourselves in. So many of us are trying to figure out how to get through life, and it's starting to feel more and more like the culture around us and the life that we're living in is a minefield as opposed to a journey that God's called us to. We're like, oh, don't step there, don't say that, don't go there, don't be that person. And we're afraid to be canceled. We're afraid to be labeled. We're afraid to be misunderstood. We're afraid to not be heard. We're just living in fear. We're living unsure. We're living afraid of the future. We're living afraid of politics. We're living afraid. There's just so much uncertainty. And so many of us are living, I want to say it, with divided hearts. And so we're not able to live the lives that we were created to live, the life that we were called to live because of the fear and the uncertainty that we're living in. But the struggle, the challenge for us is you're not going to live the life that God has for you. You're not going to live the life that you were created to live. You're not going to live the purpose out of why you are breathing air if you're unable to live in and with courage. It's going to require courage to live the life that you're supposed to live. So if you don't have courage, then you don't have the ability to access the life that you're called to live. So what is courage? How do I find it? How do I cultivate it? How do I grow it? How do I develop it? How do I be a person that is of great courage in the culture and the world that we're living in the moment in time that we're in? What do I got to do to live with courage? I want to kind of define courage as living with a whole heart, a strengthened heart, living bold. In some capacity, it's fearlessness, but I want to talk more about that. It's a confidence. Courage will always be a choice. It's never going to be a feeling. You know? Like, it's not like some of us feel more courageous than others. It's just some people choose courage more often than others. It's not that someone is fearless, so they're courageous. It's in the face of fear, make the choice to have courage. You see, it's not like the soldier that fights is like, well, I don't understand my enemy, so I'm fearless. No. It's in the face of an enemy, they choose to have courage. In the Old Testament, there's many stories that go over and over and over through I love some of these stories. And it's not like these guys were crazy, so they were fearless. It's in the face of opposition, chose to have courage. The stories like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, where the king, the culture said, you will bow and worship our king. And they said, no, we'll never bow. We'll never worship another king. We'll worship God and God alone. And the culture said, well, if you don't bow and worship our king, we're throwing you in a fire. It's not like these three men didn't know what a fire was. Like, it'd be easy for people to have courage if they didn't have any fear. The problem is all of us have stuff that we're, like, fire's hot. None of us want to get thrown in it. It's not like Shadrach was like, I've always wanted to go into a fire. Meshach and Abednego are like, ooh, we with you, dog. Let's roll. We love a good fire party. No. You get one of those. You get one of those in a lifetime. That's it. No more fire parties. You get to go once. It's like a dark joke. You see, they had courage in the face of opposition. David, he saw the giant, but he had courage to face the giant. The story of Daniel in the lion's den, I don't know if you've read that story in the Old Testament, but it's not like Daniel's like, oh, these are small lions. We're good. They don't make small lions, I don't think. It's not like, oh, these are the small ones. We can handle these in this den. No. It's in the face of opposition, had something inside of him that says, my courage is bigger than the lion in front of me, than the fire in front of me, than the giant in front of me. I have something on the inside of me that rises up inside of me. So when opposition comes, I'm bigger than the opposition. But too many of us today in this room, too many of us online, have bowed to the culture around us instead of letting the courage on the inside of us be bigger than the battle that's in front of us. And so we're not living out our faith in a way that's impacting our neighborhoods, that's impacting our workplaces. We're not living out our faith in a way that's impacting our communities and our church and our families and our friendships because we're afraid, we're timid, we're divided, our heart is split, and we're so focused on the culture around us that we're unable to live with the courage that's required to live the life of faith that we were born to live. Many of us are not living the lives that we were created to live because we can't find the courage to take the step of faith needed to get out of the boat. I love that story in the New Testament of Peter getting out of the boat to walk on water. It's not like he felt it. Like, Mark, this is some hard water, y'all. Like, if y'all feel this? I think we could walk on this. No, he didn't get to test the water. He had to have a step of courage to Jesus. Many of you in this room have heard the call that Jesus says, come, but then didn't have the courage to get out of the boat. Come witness. Come to a life group. Come onto my dream team. Step into giving. Step into serving. Step into singing. Step into teaching the kids. Take the step out of the boat and get out of your comfort zone and be used by me. And you're like, I want to so bad. I just don't want to get out of the boat because it's fearful. What if I start my business and it doesn't work? What if I go to school to be a doctor and I don't make it? What if I try to be a lawyer and it doesn't work? What if I try to have kids and I don't make it work? What if I take a step out and teach the kids or sing on the team or join the dream team? Or what if I go to that life group? What if I get out of the boat? What if you don't? What if you live your whole life in the boat? I don't know about you, but I am terrified of wasting my life than I am of swimming in the sea. I would rather be a person gasping for air, looking for Jesus, than safe in a boat with zero courage. Get out of the boat. We got to be people of courage to live the lives that God has for us to live. How do we live it? How do we do it? Turn with me to Psalms 27:14. Psalms 27:14 says, wait in faith on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your hearts. Wait, I say, wait on the Lord. The first thing we got to do, church, to be people that grow, cultivate, develop the courage that we're going to need is we have to be people that wait on the Lord. In a culture of hurry, we wait. In a culture of chaos, the kingdom-minded person waits. Wait on the Lord. Right now, the world's getting busier and busier, faster and faster, hurried and hurried. Just go, 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 go. You got a day off, like, oh, what'd you do today off? You watch this, you clean that, you plant this, you do this, you go there. It's like, whoa, chill. The world's just nonstop. You got work and it's nonstop. You're leading this, you're working on this, then you take a break and you scroll this, you check this Instagram, you check that Twitter, you check your Facebook, you message that person, you like that thing, you scroll through that, you check your email, you text that person, you call that right there, and all of a sudden, 8 hours has gone by, like, I don't even know what I did today, but I was so busy. So busy, just don't stop. What are you working on? Everything, I'm working on everything. I'm just tweaking out over here. Anxiety medication is at an all-time high. Why do we struggle with anxiety? Because I'm doing so much, Pastor. I'm just doing so much. Go, go, go. Scroll. I just got to scroll. What if I miss that one photo? I just got to keep looking. There might be one more photo. I got to keep seeing one more photo. I have to like every person's photo in the planet. All of them. I'm going to see every video. What if that one TikTok video that I don't want to miss it? And I got to do baseball and basketball and gymnastics and ballet. And I got to do this, and I got to go on a date night because I got to keep date nights, and I got to clean the house, and I got to do the lawn, and I got to do the fence, and I got to go to work, and I got to be driving. I got to do that audiobook. I got to be a leader. Yeah, I'm a leader. And it's not stopping. So, doing it all, Pastor. Just doing it all. So hurried. There's so much to do. And then in the middle of all that, I take my breath, and I'm like, oh, and then politics, and then war, and then gas and prices, and I got $45 a gallon. And I just take my check, and I take it to Shell, and I'm like, can I please have some gas, please? Then they take my whole paycheck, and then I get half a gallon to go back to work to do that all over again. And culture has stolen your peace. Because you're just so nonstop. Even on your break, you're doing something. You got a little break, you got a little lunch break. What are you doing? I'm just scrolling, just looking at Instagram, looking at Facebook, looking at Twitter. What if someone posted something? Like what, a burrito? Who cares? Look at my burrito, look at my taco. Taco Tuesday. If you haven't seen a taco, this is my chicken taco. Like, we've seen tacos before. We don't need your food photos. We got your family photo at Christmas. We'll wait one more year. Save the rest. I'm being a little sarcastic, but think about it. What are you missing out on? Oh, wait. What are you missing out on? Just something? I don't know. I got to find out to tell you. I got to look to know. We're so frantic. We're so busy. We're so hurried. We're so nonstop. Culture's wanting to hurry you up, but Psalm says that your courage is renewed. Your heart is strengthened when you wait on God. You see, the kingdom-minded person waits on God. I'll prove that all of us have hurry in us. And there's a difference between being hurried and being busy. Busy is just you got a lot going on. Busy is you're a parent, you got 3 kids, a few jobs, and you're nonstop. That's busy. You got a lot to do. But you can be busy without being hurried. You could have a lot to do, which is what God's telling. He's got a lot on your plate. Like, trust me, you have more to do than you can handle. That's why you're going to require his grace. I'm just going to get to that later. And so you're already overwhelmed with what God's called you to. So you better rely on God. You better find a way to wait on God. But we have all been here. We've all gone through this. You're at the grocery store and you're evaluating the line to pick. And you pick your line, and then you subconsciously mark the person equal to you in the other line, and you race. And you see who gets out of there first. That's the person that's a little too hurried. You know what I'm talking about. You get there. I'm talking to myself right now. And so you pull up, you go off your grocery cart, you're looking, you're like, who's got more? This one. This is the fast one. That's right. And then you just mentally know, you're like, that's where I would have been if I picked that line. And then you're going, and you're like, no. And then you're like checking your stuff in your bag. You're like, I win. Oh, I said it out loud. I didn't mean to. I mean, hey, go in peace. Be loved. Jesus loves you. So, I gotta go, get out. I better pick the fast line. Or God forbid, pull up to the line. There's a stoplight. 2 cars, you got a BMW and a van. You're like, BMW, for sure. That's the faster one. Let's go, BMW. Beat that van. You beat that van. Let's go. And then it's like green, like, go. What are you doing? Go. It's a green, like it's NASCAR. Like, it's a green. Let's go. Life's on the line right now. Because we just losing our mind over that 18 seconds. You're like, oh my God, I picked the wrong line. But here's what happens. You're a little irritated because you picked the wrong line. You wouldn't say it out loud. You couldn't even put words to it, but your spirit just got frustrated. You're a little irritated. You're driving home, you walk in the house, your wife says something. You're like, whatever. Wait, why are you okay? Bad day? No. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Well, what's going on? Nothing. You can't even put words to why you got a bad spirit. But your bad spirit came from your rush. It took your peace. It slowed your joy. It took your ability to forgive and to walk in grace and peace. All of a sudden, 18 seconds didn't cost you much time, but it did cost you peace in your marriage. You're at the grocery store, you pick the wrong line, all of a sudden you're just stuck there. Now two people have beat you. Now you're just stuck. You're like, oh my goodness, I might as well just leave the groceries. Your kid says something, hey, can we get some gum? No more gum. Gum is from the devil. Just shut up, sit there, quiet. Why are we so mad? Why are we so frustrated? Pick the wrong line. Okay. Let's think about that for a minute. We're so rushed. Why? Because the devil knows that God will not speed up to your pace. He's waiting for you to wait on his. And if he could get you going, hurry, scroll, text, talk, work, change, all the time. If he could just divide your hearts, you will lack the courage to live the life you were created to live, and you will be doing it because you can't wait on God. Because you're hurried, you're frantic, and you got to go. Think about this, church. Jesus shows up. Prophecy for thousands of years that a Savior's coming. He shows up on the scene. At 30 years of age, he starts his ministry. He knows he's got 3 years of this thing. 3 years. If there's ever been a person that has got a lot to do in a little bit of time, it would be Jesus. I mean, this is shorter than high school. Shorter than college. 3 years, and we're done. It's a hard line. It's not like you, like, hey, I don't think I got all of it done, God. Let's push this off a little bit. No, you're done in 3. And over and over and over, it says Jesus withdrew from the crowds and sat with the Father. Many times the disciples would wake up and they couldn't find him, and they'd go find him in prayer, talking to his Father. Many times when the crowds would be around him, he said, give me a boat, I got to get out of here. I got to withdraw. But no, we got to teach, we got to preach, we got to heal, we got to lead, we got to learn, we got to build. The crowd's building, Jesus. Don't turn away the crowd. I got to go. I got to step back. Multiple times, church, people actually died waiting for Jesus to show up. A father says, Jesus, I need you to heal my child. He goes, I'll be there in a little bit. While he's distracted, he was walking, he's like, let's go heal him. Oh, never mind, let's do this real quick. Oh, the kid died. Just don't tell the master to not come. Don't bother him anymore. Just, no, I'm coming. Don't worry about it. Just wait. I'll be there in a minute. No, don't worry about it. Child died. No, I'm coming. Just, child died. Yeah, I get it. I heard you, but I'll be there in a minute. Just wait on me for a minute. No, Jesus, I think you didn't hear me. You took too long. You didn't get there in time. Needs passed. Needs gone. Yeah, I did hear that. That's weird. I'm still coming. Just chill. I'm dealing with something else. Another time, Lazarus, his friend. It's like, I need you to heal. I need some healing. Jesus, like, yeah, I'll be there in a few days. No. I don't think you heard me, Jesus. I'm dying right now. Dying this second, I'm dying. Yeah, I'll be there in a few days. It hurts really bad, Jesus. Yeah, I'll be there in a few days. Thought I'm gonna die. Nah, I'll still be there in a few days. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Why are we so casual, Jesus? I'll be there. Well, because Jesus wasn't rushed. Jesus wasn't hurried. Jesus showed up, and he brought healing to the dead. He brought freedom to the bound. A woman touched his garment as he was walking through the crowd, and he stops. He goes, hold up. Who touched me? Jesus, everyone's touching you right now. No, but no one person touched me. I got to find that person. Who's this? You. What just happened? You see, he was never moved by the crowds. He was never stirred up by the culture. He never let culture define his calendar, define his schedule, define his pace, I love that in the New Testament it says that there's rhythms of grace. Oh, that's such a good verse. The rhythms of grace lead and guide our life. Why? Because there's a rhythm to it. There's a flow to it. It's a natural progression. It's not a hurried pace. It's not a hurried life. It's not a rushed life. There's a rhythm to grace for your life. Are you in the rhythms of God's grace? Church, we live so fast, so nonstop, so urgent. So why? Because you love that multitask. I'm working, I'm social media, I'm texting people, I'm back on the grind, I'm everywhere. You know that your heart can't multitask? You know your heart can't multitask? And so to be a person that's of one heart, that's bold, that lives with courage, you can't let your heart be everywhere all the time. You got to center yourself and wait on the Lord, and he will renew your strength. You can't just keep running and running and running and think that if you just keep doing that, somehow you'll get some rest. Somehow you'll get some peace. Somehow you'll get restored. Somehow you'll get built up. Somehow courage will just find you. No, you need to wait on God. It's as we wait on God, he renews our strength. He brings courage to us. Turn me to 2 Kings 6, 17 and 18. This is a story of Elisha and his servant. And they're in this little house in a valley. And all around the valley, there's these cliffs. And this enemy has encamped around them. And Elisha says here in verse 17, then Elisha prayed, "O Lord, open his eyes and let him see." So the Lord opened the young man's eyes, and when he looked up, he saw that the hillside around Elisha was filled with horses and chariots of fire. As the Aramean army advanced towards him, Elisha prayed, "O Lord, please make them blind." So the Lord struck them with blindness, as Elisha had asked. Open his eyes, and then struck them with blindness. Give him vision and take their vision. To build courage in your life, first you're going to have to wait on God, and then you're going to have to see God. It's your vision that's dividing your heart. It's your vision that's trying to speed you up too much. It's your vision that's impacting the levels of fear that you're often living in. You see the bad report. You see the issues. You see the political things. You see the health reports. You see, and you're just looking to this, and you're looking to the news, and you're looking to culture, and you're looking to your work, and you're looking at your pay, and you're looking at gas prices, and you're just looking. And what you're looking at is what you're thinking about. It's defining your spirit. It's setting your life up. The question is, what are you looking at? Elisha said, God, open his eyes so we could see you. There's an army around him. And God says, no. Show him the real thing. Let him see what's really there. Bang. Armies of heaven are encamped around him. Too many of us are spending too much of our time looking at the world that we're called to impact, and we're letting it impact us. If you're called to impact the world, what does it matter where it's at? If you're called to be the light to a dark room, why are you assessing the dark level? I'll say it again. If you're called to be the light, why does it matter how dark it is? You don't have like a scale like, well, once it hits this level of darkness, there's hopelessness. That's too dark of a room for you. That room is too hopeless, a little too dark over there. Why do we as the church assess so often the issues and the fears of our world when we're the ones that are holding the hope for the world? Open your eyes and see the things that God is calling us to see, so that we can live the lives that he's called us to live. What are you looking at? What do you see? There's a scripture I want to read in 1 Peter 5:8. You guys ever done like that, like balancing where you stand on one foot and you just, how long can you stand there? And you got to set your vision, don't you? You get unbalanced when you're just looking everywhere. But when you kind of lock in, you get to stand there forever because like your vision impacts your balance. The world is trying to make you just nonstop look everywhere. Look here, look here, look here. Watch that, scroll this, worry about this issue, worry about this fear, worry about this struggle, worry about this. Like nonstop, look at this, have this issue. And they're just trying to own what your eyes are seeing. They're trying to own what you see. This is why. 1 Peter 5:8 says, be well balanced and always alert, because your enemy, the devil, roams around like a lion seeking whom he can devour. If he can get you off balanced, he can get you to be devoured. If he can get you looking everywhere, he impacts your balance and he puts you in the prime position to just be knocked over. So where are your eyes? What are you looking at? What are you looking at, church? Are you seeing the armies that are encamped around you trying to come at you? The struggles around you, the depression around you, the addiction around you, the heartbreak around you, the economy around you? Are you looking at the politics around you? Or are you seeing the things that God has called you to see behind it? All the chariots of fire says, no, God's got a plan. God's got hope. God's got a vision for me. God's got more for me. God was my provider before the world. God was my provider before the struggle. God was my provider before the economy. God was my king before this president. He'll be my king during the next one, during the next. I serve a king, not a president. I serve a kingdom, not this country. I'm getting in someone's business right now. You see, you're a person of the kingdom, not a person of a country. And too many of us care more about our country than our kingdom. And we've allowed a country we have no ownership of to tear us apart from people in our kingdom. And a person that has no courage would rather spend their life attacking other people than living with courage and have the risk of others attacking them. We spend more time bashing other people's opinions than we do the courage to live out our own. I'd rather come at you than live with courage on my own. I'd rather prove you're wrong than live out my faith in front of you. What is it that we see? Do you see the armies of God? Or are you so focused on the struggles around you that you're living disheartened, hopeless, with a lack of courage to live out what you were created to live for? I got one more step that we need to do in our pursuit of courage. Deuteronomy 31:6. Deuteronomy 31:6 says, be strong and of good courage. Do not fear, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord your God, he is one who goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. He goes with. There's a difference between waiting on and being with. Waiting on means that I might not be with you, but I'm waiting on you. You close? You coming anytime soon? Waiting on your wife in the morning, husbands, you're like, hey, you ready? No? Okay, I'm just waiting on you. In essence, like, you're controlling the time we leave. You're controlling this. Why? I can't be hurried because I'm waiting. Let me know when we're ready. Waiting on? You're waiting on someone to show up to a meeting, you're just waiting on them. But you got to wait on God, you got to see God, and then you got to live with God. Who you're with is either adding to courage or pulling away your courage. Who you're with, it's either adding or taking. If you're with the culture of this world too much, it's taking courage. It's not adding courage. They don't want you to have your voice. They want you to be part of their voice. They don't want you to bring change. They want you to be a part of what they're trying to change. They don't want you to live with the hope of the world. They have their own hope. They have their own morality. They have their own answers. No. They don't want to bow to the king. They want his blessings, and they kind of want sometimes his morality, but they don't want to serve him. We got to be with our king. As a child, I remember anytime I was with my dad, I always had extra confidence. Just a little confidence booster. I could be in the woods with dad. I could be riding motorcycles with dad. I could be just hanging out with dad. I could be on a trip with dad. Heck, I could be home sleeping, but as long as dad was home, I got some confidence. Second dad's gone, this is the night someone breaks into our house. This is the night. The burglars have been waiting for dad to leave. Zero courage when dad's gone. Like as if my dad was this Navy SEAL, like ready to, fight people off for us or something. But dad was home, I got courage. Dad's gone, I'm on my, here's why. Because you have the ability to leverage the persons you're with strength to build your courage. Did you catch that? So who you're with, you could use their strength to add to your courage, or you could leverage their fear to pull out your courage. It's happening one way or the other. When I'm with my dad, I used his strength and it made me feel more courageous. But when I'm with the world too much and their fears, it adds too much fear to me. Are you adding to your courage by who you're with, or taking away courage based off of who you're with? Are you more courageous to witness or less? Are you more courageous to pray or less? Are you more courageous to share your faith or less? Are you more courageous to step out and start that business, to step out and go to that school, to step out and have that child that you've been praying for, to step out and into that relationship? Are you more courageous? Listen, I'm not going to live by fears of hurt, by fears of my past, by fears of failures. No, I'm going to step out in faith. Who are you with is either adding to or taking from your courage. Too many of us are still in painful relationships that are reminding us why to be afraid, not why to live in courage. We're talking old friendships that are all the world and all the issues and all the struggles, and every time you're with them, you have a good time, but you leave more afraid than not. But maybe if we were living with the presence of our Father, of our King, maybe we would have the courage to live the life that he created for us to live. Who are you with? I got two stories as the band comes today. Joshua 14:12. This is the story I've read a few weeks ago, Caleb taking his mountain. In Joshua 14:12 through 14, it says, "Now therefore give me this mountain, which the Lord spoke in that day. For you heard it in that day how the Anakim were there, and that the city was great and fortified." Catch this, underline this in your Bible. "It may be that the Lord will be with me. It may be that the Lord will be with me and give it to me as an inheritance." Turn quickly to 1 Samuel 14:6. 1 Samuel 14:6. "Then Jonathan said to his young man," this is the king's son, King Saul. His son has his armor bearer with him, and he says, turn to the young man who bore his armor. "Come, let us go over the garrison to these uncircumcised, to these Philistines, to this enemy, to this army that's encamped around us. Let us go to these uncircumcised, and it may be," or another translation says, perhaps the Lord will be with us, for nothing restrains the Lord from saving by many or by few. Perhaps the Lord will be with us. Perhaps. Caleb said, "Give me this mountain, and maybe the Lord will be with me." Church, we need courage. We need to build courage in our lives. We need to be people of courage, because there's going to come a day in your future that will require you to take a step on a maybe. On a maybe. Maybe God will be with me. Maybe God is in this battle. Maybe God has given me this mountain. Maybe I'm going to get the healing I need for this cancer report. Maybe I'm going to get over this depression and addiction. Maybe God's going to show up in this relationship. Maybe God will be with me. When you're willing to live on a maybe, it's those maybes that expose if you're a person of faith or not. Because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, I don't care what happens to me, put me in the fire. Maybe Jesus will be there with us. David wasn't focused on the promised victory of a giant. He was just looking for some rocks. Peter wasn't guaranteed that he could walk on water, but he was getting out of the boat. And too many of us are unwilling to take a step on a maybe because we're waiting for God to give us a guarantee. But where there's a guarantee, you don't need any faith. Where there's guarantees, there's no testimonies. Where there's guarantees, there's no mountains, there's no battles, there's no giants. Why? Because it takes the faith of a boy to overcome his giants. It takes the faith of Caleb to say, that's my mountain, and maybe God is going to go with me. It takes the faith of a worshiper to say, I will worship God and God alone. You can put me in the fire, but I'm not worshiping anyone else but God alone. It's the faith of our maybes that's going to change this world. It's the faith of a maybe that's going to change your family. It's the faith of a maybe that's going to get you to step out of that boat and go back to school, to start that business, to start that law firm, to write that song, to start that family, to get married. It's the faith of a maybe that's going to lead you to the life that God created you to live. And you will never get to the battles you're called to defeat. You will never get the things you're called to receive if you're not willing to get out on a maybe and say, just maybe God is with me. Just maybe God's called me. Just maybe God is for me. Just maybe God can use me. Come on, team. Come on, church. Let's worship today.